Alrighty. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Kevin's Corner. It has been a bit since I've been both away at Comic Con and busy with some other things, but I'm back, and I have my next guest with me, Trick or Sweet, aka Rurika. Ruri, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Rurika, also known as Rudy. I'm a cyber witch VTuber. I like to stream retro games, platformers, Sonic games, anything honestly that looks cool, colorful, anything interesting. And I like Sonic and Shadow a normal amount.
Hey, fellow Sonic fan, I love it. But yeah, how did you get started? What made you decide to start streaming, and how did you come up with your name and VTuber model?
Originally, I had a completely different concept when I got into VTubing because originally a long time ago, like I think previous to when the Hololive EN was super popular and everyone and their mother wanted to be a VTuber. Um, I used to stream art. I don't know if I streamed on Twitch. I think it possibly could have been, or it was like an art-based streaming service. I'm not too sure. But I just streamed to my friends on DeviantArt at the time. They just wanted to see my process because I was very big into studies and anything with like honing my skills with rendering and all that. Um, and so I had a little bit of like form of streaming experience, I guess. And then the VTubing scene boomed. Uh, around 2020ish or 2019, and then I started like with the concept. Originally I was going to be like a succubus VTuber, like a nurse succubus, but like the moe gap being she's not AoE, I guess. But it didn't seem like very me. But I had an OC that I created back in I would say like 2011, 2013. She's very old. Her name at the time was Miss Pumpkin. I created her for a DeviantArt role playing group called Toy Store. And I was friends with a bunch of people and role played and drew a lot. And I drew a lot of Miss Pumpkin at the time. And after me scrapping the nurse succubus idea, I went back to the drawing board and I thought maybe I should pick up this OC again that's very beloved. It was like a character of mine, like everyone, I guess, like would think is me, I guess. I don't know the best way to put it. When they see anything Miss Pumpkin, they think, oh, that's just Rudy, that's Rudy. Um, or anything that looks like Miss Pumpkin, they associate me as a person, even out in the flesh. So I wanted to hold that, I guess, and use that as my primary, VTuber. So Miss Pumpkin became like the main VTuber. So I started getting assets. I started drawing a lot of things, and then eventually I debuted my PNG as Miss Pumpkin. And then afterwards, Miss Pumpkin at the time, I don't know if you've seen her, but she looks different from Rurika. Is like there's some similar aspects to it that are there, but for the most part, there was a lot of things that just didn't match me. I guess at the time I really wanted to have that like One-san type of energy, and amongst other things. Uh, but then afterwards, I did like a little redesign for Miss Pumpkin. And then I also didn't want to go by Miss Pumpkin anymore because there was like, I don't know, I just didn't vibe with it, I guess, too much. So I decided to come up with a name because it's always been on the drawing board. Like I need to give her a name, but I can't think of anything. So I just decided to choose Miss Pumpkin, which was inspired by a Vocaloid song by Hachi. Um, then eventually, I was looking around different websites, fucking baby names, everything. Um, and I saw Rurika. I'm not too sure why I went with Rurika. I think I like the name Ruri and then also Rika as well because I'm a big fan of Higurashi. And Rika is my favorite character from that series. So I'm not too sure. And then I just picked it. Asked my friends for their input, and I was really liking it, so I decided to pick Rurika. So 6 months after debuting, um, I decided to do like a quote unquote mini rebrand and go by Rurika rather than Miss Pumpkin with the redesign. I've always wanted to maintain the Halloween aspect though, because that was one of those big things that I really enjoyed. I've always been someone who loves Halloween, anything pumpkin related, especially pumpkins and bats and candy. Those are the three big things when it comes to Halloween that I like. So I wanted to keep that. I feel like even though Halloween for most people is just a day, or they associate it with like the fall season, it's just only, once a year sort of situation. I feel like that sort of thing encompasses my life like year round. So I still wanted to keep that. Also very much grew fond with like the colors, teal and orange and purple. No. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just, chose the name. My mama was Lisa at that time. She still is my model mama. She helped out with the design as well. And after a while, I very much like grew very attached, and I kind of look at her and I'm like, yeah, this seems more like me. I feel very attached to this. This feels like this is like Miss Pumpkin and also part of me myself. Um, as a VTuber.
Oh, that's an interesting origin story. Is that where the name Trick or Sweet was inspired from too, with the love of Halloween and pumpkins and all that?
Yeah, I was thinking of like different usernames at the time, and I don't know if Miss Pumpkin was taken or something, and I wanted to be a little bit creative because usually I would see a lot of VTubers with their name underscore channel or their full VTuber name, or maybe if their name was unique enough where it hasn't been taken yet, they would just use their name. But anything that I would come up with at the time was taken. So I thought, oh, something, trick or treating. Oh, trick or sweets. Let's see if that's taken. And surprisingly enough, there's only like an Instagram page selling candy, I guess. I think that's the only thing that I found at the time. So I decided, oh, I might as well snag this name because it seems like not a lot of people are using it. And if they are, they're like just one or two businesses, maybe. And it's interesting enough where it kind of tells whoever's on my page, oh, she likes Halloween.
Now, I know you mainly like to stream retro game. What made you wanted to do that type of streaming? What is it about retro games that you love so much?
Growing up, I played a lot of GameCube games. My first console was the Nintendo GameCube, the silver one to be exact. And my first two video games ever played was actually Sonic Adventure 2 and SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. So at a very, very young age, I was playing a lot of video games. And there was at some point, I don't know if it was because Small Duty touched more grass than she did play video games or watched my brother play video games more than I did play it myself. But at some point, I just kind of like stopped playing games. I would occasionally pick up a game or two whenever I get pretty addicted to it, like I got really into Mario Kart Wii, so I spent a big chunk of my life just playing competitively whenever I could. Um, and then any multiplayer shooter flavor of the week sort of game. So I didn't play a lot of platformers or retro games, nothing of the sort. I briefly played, and the N64 whenever I visited my neighbors at the time, or the PlayStation 1. But pretty much my household was a Nintendo household, pretty much. So we just had the GameCube, the Wii. Sometimes we had like a Sony console, like a PlayStation 3 or something, but nothing older than that. Um, but I pretty much spent a lot of my time like just playing anything multiplayer, whether it be, like an MMO or a shooter of some sort. But later on, when I first started streaming, believe it or not, I was an art streamer. I used to stream nothing but art. There would be days where I would stream a game, but it would be a game that I had played before and am very comfortable with. Um, so whether it's mostly Sonic, Sonic Heroes was one, Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Adventure, those sorts of games that I'm very comfortable with playing and confident in playing. I was really nervous when it came to like trying out new games because I don't know why, I was just afraid of just being bad at something live on stream. Um, but then one of my friends, she suggested that I would do like a sort of mascot march sort of event, kind of switching things up because I've shown interest in playing more retro games, more games in general, rather than whatever, flavor of the week that I would be playing. And then I got introduced to playing games, in magical ways. Um, and then I started with, I think it was with Klonoa, Door to Phantomile for the PlayStation. And then I loved it. I thought it was such a cute and charming game. I always thought Klonoa was a Sonic character. I did not know who Klonoa was aside from, the design. And then it just kind of threw me in a rabbit hole because I didn't play those sorts of games back then, and if I did, it was just very little. And then I got introduced to like playing on real hardware. I think within the last year or so, I picked up more consoles. I found a way to capture them. I am like now I'm in the progress of burning CDs for my Dreamcast. So since I think I did Mascot March back in 2024, so a couple years ago. I played a bunch of different games like Mega Man X, Crash Bandicoot, Sly Cooper, which I still need to beat, um, and other games as well, some indie games too. Because I feel like I'm very comfortable if you were to, throw me in, let's say, Overwatch, for example, or Counter Strike or something. I feel very confident in myself and I can play very well. But when it came to like 2D platformers, I back then I it was just like putting shoes on a dog. I did not know the basics. I didn't know the like any rules that they would follow. I didn't know any terminology either. I didn't know in Mega Man if you touch the spike equals bad. It's not like you take a bunch of damage. No, you die. um I didn't know any of that, so it felt entirely new to me. And I was very nervous because I was pretty bad at it, but the Jakodachis loved experiencing uh, all the pain and all everything that I've learned, because it was the first experience for me, and they loved watching that, and I ended up really liking it too, and started to feel more comfortable with playing those sorts of games. So I started to keep at it and keep playing and find different games to play and take suggestions, and it just became one of my, you know biggest hobbies now. I used to draw a lot more and collect figurines, but now like at the forefront of my mind, it's like, oh, what console should I get next? What retro game should I play? oh, I want to try this game. Oh, when I get home from work or after stream, I'm gonna look into this game and play this game, or I'm gonna mod this insert console here. Um, so it became an addiction to me, and I love it a lot because I've missed out so many years of games. So it feels like I just am so there's so many of them to play now. Like I have no idea when I'll be able to clear my backlog, if ever.
I think that's every gamer's nightmare: how to clear the backlog.
Yeah.
Uh, Now I know you typically have some theme month, like you were just finishing up one now for July. Like, oh, July is like the hottest month of the year. We're just gonna play bad game. How did you come up with the idea for those for your streams, like Mascot March and Bad Games in July?
um. So for mascot March, it was this an idea from a friend, so I can't claim that one. But for the bad games for July, most of my ideas for stream, I would say a good chunk of them just is from a whim. I don't I'm not the type to just sit down and plan my year or plan my this hobby. I just kind of like just go with the flow, see where the wind takes me. If I come up with a cool idea, I'm going to go for it. I don't really write things down unless it's like, my game list or something like that, but I just, sometimes I just come up with interesting sounding things to me where I'm like, oh, I might as well do that. Last year, what happened was, it's like it feels really odd to say, but my car broke down, and it was a pretty tough day for me. I had to take it to the shop, and I spent a bunch of money, yada yada. It was awful, and I was like, you know what would be really funny if I were to play like an awful terrible game just to make it worse, because I just hate this month so much. I'm hot. My room is hot. Every time I go outside, I burn. My car broke down. How could I make this a little worse just to make me laugh? Because there's a bunch of games out there, and most people, they would go for what's really good. Um, but for me, I wanted to go for something that was like objectively very bad, and something that would actually, like, I don't know, frustrate me to the point where I just can't stop laughing, and which would make me feel better. So I went on Twitter and I asked the Jakodachis, like, suggest me like really evil, sick and twisted games. And one Jakodachi suggested Cat Mario, which was, a flash game Mario, but a cat. And I was like, okay, looked into it, got Flashpoint, um, and I played it on stream, and it was the most fun I've had in a while on stream, because that game was unpredictable and evil and sick and twisted and really funny. It made for a good content. There's an edit out on YouTube by Popato, and I screamed so much my family were concerned for me, because they thought that I was just going like, what is Judy Chama doing? Why is she screaming
Oh
like that, like
no.
she's dying? Is she okay? But instead, I'm just falling into pits and getting destroyed by spikes or the clouds, whatever. But it was really funny, and I had a good time. So I only did one stream, I think, last year. So I wanted to kind of kick it up a notch this year. So I, wanted to took more suggestions from Jakodachis, because I just wanted to play more. And so I'm also been watching a little bit more AVGN. Usually AVGN was like my background Coco Melon, and when I say Coco Melon, I just mean like entertainment. Um, and he plays some shitty games, some really bad games. And so I wanted to play some of those bad games. And one of the videos I remember was, Superman 64. How bad could Superman 64 be? like he's explaining it like it's evil, it's awful. Um and so I just went and played it myself on stream, and it wasn't as bad as I thought, I guess, but it was pretty brutal.
And it made for some very funny moments too, as in Lex Luthor winning in probably one of the most incredible ways ever, which I know is one of my clips. I just looked at how many clips. It's like almost 70 clips of moments from your stream because there are so many great moments.
There was a lot, and there was just so many games. I mean, like even Frogger, the Great Quest was a game that didn't work previously that I made, how to play it in the magical way. The first cutscene, I wish I may, I wish I must. So it was really funny. So I'm very happy that I had that in my I introduced that to my streams. Next year for sure I will have to do some more research so I can get some grade A terrible awful games. So hopefully there will be more moments where I can make the Dakodachi and I laugh.
Oh, you gotta play Big Rigs over the hill racing. It's like one of the most awful games. It has no physics. I know the Angry Video Game Nerd had done a video on it. If you ever do it on a stream, I have to watch your reaction to it because everybody's gonna laugh at it.
I will keep that. I'll note that down and keep that in mind.
Has there been any bad game that you played that's just basically so bad that it's good and you just can't help but laugh at it?
Man, it's hard because like I feel like I think the only game that I genuinely felt that way is man, I don't know. I know a game that I just did not like and I will not go back to. And surprisingly enough, I didn't play it this month. I played it like a couple months ago was when I played A Dog's Life for the PlayStation 2. I mean, like it was terrible.
Oh, I remember that.
I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. It was really bad. I haven't really thought about like a game so bad that it's just actually just like so good. A lot of people did not like Virtual Highlight, but when I played it, I felt like I could have gone through an entire stream if it wasn't for the hour, and also like I guess I think I had something to do the next morning. If it was like on a Saturday, I probably would have sat down and played the entire thing. I thought it was like kind of a little straining in the eyes, but surprisingly enough I liked it a lot.
Now, is there like any game that you never got to complete whatsoever, but you finally got the chance to do so on stream?
Oh, I will say a bunch of different games actually. There was a bunch of Sonic games that I never actually made the time to beat, but I finally did. Honestly, I think the first one was like Sonic Heroes. That's the first one. That's the earliest memory that I had. And then also another game was Devil May Cry. I originally played Devil May Cry on stream after so many years. I grew up really liking Bayonetta. I think that was like one of the very few single player moments that I had off stream when I was younger, where I just sat down and played the entirety of non-stop. And I never got into like Devil May Cry. I've always been wanting to. My brother is a big DMC fan, and I played it I think like 3 years ago. I got heavily filtered, very filtered. I couldn't get through. I think that the one of the first bosses I struggled very hard, and then there was some platforming that I struggled with. There was just a lot of things that I struggled with, and so eventually I had to shelve it because it was making me really salty because I really wanted to get into it, but I couldn't. And then I started playing more video games, and last year in October, I started playing it again, and I finally beat BMC. I finally beat it. I finally had the time to beat it. I finally had the skill to beat it. And I felt so good afterwards because I loved it. I was so happy that I that I finally was able to sit down and play it on stream and beat it. The same goes for Sonic Heroes too, because growing up I struggled a lot with video games. I wasn't like really good at it, and when I find a game that I struggle with, all it really takes is time and patience and practice, but I feel like I'm the type where I'm like, I don't want to do that. I just want to be good at the start. Okay, let me find something else where like potentially I'll be good at the start. So I never actually beat Sonic Heroes on my own until I started streaming. I guess the same goes for Mega Man as well. That's another series that I finally got into. A lot of Capcom games too. And there's definitely more to come because there's plenty of games I have started when I was younger that I don't know why I stopped, whether it be skill issue or I got distracted and picked up something else that I'm finally like, oh, I need to beat this on stream so I can be, because it feels like whenever I stream a game on Twitch, I kind of hold myself accountable because I'm like, oh, I need to finish this game. Oh, I need to beat this game. Oh, I streamed this the other day. I should probably pick this back up again. And it helps me stay on top of it and accountable to beat it. That's probably why I'm able to play so many games now. I'm trying to play more games off stream too. Um like I've been playing more RPGs. I feel like that's the type of genre that I don't think I stream a lot. Because I feel like I'm a different uh witch when I play RPG. Sometimes I just stay silent for hours because there's a lot of strategy with some of these games. But yeah.
Yeah, is there any game that you haven't finished yet that you told yourself like, okay, one of these days, whether it be in the near future or later on, I'm gonna finish this game on stream, and we're all gonna do it together.
I think the game that I will be doing that will be Metroid Prime 2 and 3. Those are the two games that I need to beat because I started okay, it's weird. I when I went to a store, I went to the game aisle and I saw Drakengard 3 and I was like, oh man, I need to play this game. The cover, she's so pretty and the dragon's so cool. I need to play this game. And then I look over to my left to the Wii section and I saw the Metroid Prime trilogy. And I got Metroid Prime 1 on the GameCube as a gift from my aunt um, many years back before that. And I was too scared to play it. I couldn't even get through the tutorial level. I was just too scared. I never picked it back up until I started streaming. That's just yet another game. But I started with 3 after I picked up the trilogy for some reason because it was the least scary one. Because I would try 1, I would boot up 1 on my Wii. I was too scared. I boot up 2, I was too scared. And then 3 had the right beginning where it didn't scare me. So I started playing 3. But I never beat it. I just didn't do it. I don't know what happened. And so those two games are in the list I have to beat at some point. I've beaten Metroid Prime 1 on stream twice. I streamed the remaster first, and then I went back and streamed the original with the Prime hack, so I was able to play on keyboard and mouse, which was a lot of fun. But those two games, I have to beat it. I have to. This is by principle by now. I don't know why I haven't even started it. There's always a game that pops in just right in front of it where I'm like, ooh, I want to play that one next, and then I just forget.
Well, when that does come to pass, you know the community is going to be cheering you on for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but this leads me into my next question: is what is it about in your community in particular that makes them so special as both a VTuber and a streamer?
They're very they're very kind, and they're also menaces. I don't know how to put it in with one word. They're so supportive and also very helpful. They want to help me in any way they can, and they are also so smart and they also they're the knowers. They know a lot about video games. They know so much that I don't. Every single day I learn something new from them, whether it be on stream live or off stream on the Discord or on social media. There's so much that they've experienced that is so cool to me. I always learn from them, and it makes things so much more special because every time I go live, like I share about my interests, I share about what I did for that day or something that I picked up on, and they always like add on to it and they share their own experiences and they share something that they're doing or something that they modded on their console, or it might not even be anything related to video games at all. It could be just their lives and their achievements and their goals, what they want to do. Like I have a few Jakodachis still like in college and what they're doing and what they plan to strive for like career wise. And I feel like they're very inspiring to me, and they make me want to push myself even harder. So I think that's one of the things that I'm very grateful for, is that I have such a strong community that makes me want to push myself to greater heights to complete any goals that I have in mind. And they're also like crazy as well. They're really funny. I feel like if it wasn't for streaming, um, I probably wouldn't enjoy the games that I play as much because they always have something to add on to it, whether it be like a pants grab joke or, a little tidbit, like a did you know moment. And so it makes things so much more enjoyable. And don't tell them this, but I think they're pretty cool.
You hear that, Ruri community? We'll let you know next screen. One of the things I love about the chat is like whenever something happens during a game or you mess up, they're like Ruri dot dot dot. What's a just knowing look?
It's I'm like, what? They always I hate it when they do dot 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 or question mark question mark question mark. I'm like, it feels like you're throwing tomatoes at me. Like, what did I do wrong? Come on, elaborate.
Well, this leads me to my next question: is like any particular moments on stream that you remember the most, or have really stood out to you, or that you've been most fond of? I know there's so much to choose from, but I'll let you go.
I hope it's okay to talk about, but whenever I get got with a certain, word, as a, the recent one I thought about lately was Odyssey. Yeah, I don't, I don't know if I can elaborate on that one, but anything D's, I feel like I'm a very gullible witch. You can write something down, type something out, you can spread in misinformation, and it is very likely that I will believe you. Or if you're asking me a question, I feel like you're asking me genuinely in the chat. And so the Jakodachis sure love to come up with little funny ways to make me say funny things on stream. And they start losing it in the chat, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what's going on? No, what's going on? And then I realize, and it hits me. But the one that I thought about the most is actually not done by a chat, but one of my best friends, Miss Takako, who got me with an Aldi's. It's one of the clips that's on my channel that's I highlighted. That got me really, really bad. I had to get up. I had to walk around. I yelled. I had to leave the room. I was yelling that much. I was like, I cannot believe, because she set it up so perfectly. She was like, "Oh, I don't make those sorts of jokes. I'm a lady." And I'm like, "Okay." And then she waits like a couple hours and asks me, "Oh, Duty, you go to Aldi's?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I go to Aldi's." And she ended with all these nuts, and I was like, "I gotta go. I gotta leave.
That's right above soul moon. Okay.
I gotta go." So I feel like the Jacolachis and also my friends know like how I am. Like I just feel like I'm just very gullible and very airheaded. So they know how to take the opportunity to mess with me, and that's one of the things that I love the most about them is that they they have a lot of fun in a way that like in a respectful way, I guess, because like I don't take offense to it at all. They know they can read the room. Um, and it makes me laugh really, really hard because even though I got, it genuinely makes me laugh so hard because there are a few times where I got them too.
Yeah, that's one of the things I love about your streams too. It's like the frustration of laughter, whether it be like a glitch or you hit spikes, whether it be multiple times, even if it's in the same place. It's one of those things where you just can't help but laugh at it now because it's just so funny, and everybody and the
Yeah,
community laughing along with it too.
yeah. Sometimes it just makes it better to just think of it as something funny because like there's some games that I swear like Mega Man and Bass for example, like it just beats you down, grabs you by by the scruff and then beats you down again, that you just can't help but to laugh like, why is this happening to me?
Oh yeah, there was just one particular moment. It was with the floor, I think, was rising, and you kept hitting the spikes at least 3 times, and pretty much by it got to the third time, we were just laughing because it was like again. Oh my.
Yep. There's plenty of games that I play that does that to me, and at this point I've grown fond to it.
I would say my particular favorite moment on your stream is you were talking about this game, and I can't remember the particular game, but it was like oh, it's terrible, it's awful, and then right then and there you just fell to your death in the pit as Mega Man, and it was just something about the timing that really got to me because it was like Mega Man saying, "Nope, bad game, I'm out," and I was laughing so hard I had to leave the room for a minute because I just could not control myself, and I have that clip. It's like Mega Man noped out of a bad game, and it's one of my I will forever treasure that moment on stream.
That's one of the things, like, I don't understand how it works, but there are many moments where I would say something or I would become overly smug and I would instantly get punished for it. It feels like a skill to me that I'm not even trying to do. It just happens. There's so many times where I would just say something and then immediately I die or I get destroyed or something bad happens to me in game and the timing is just way too good. It There was one Dachi's like, how does she keep doing this? How does she keep doing this? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the game's like, am I a joke to you? Well, let me show you.
It just knows me too well. That's why, like, even in real life, I can't be too smug. Sometimes I could be really smug, but I gotta be safe. I gotta know. I have to be like like super sure, 100% sure. Like this is a good moment to be smug. Because even in like outside of stream, there's gonna be times where just I'm gonna be punished instantly. It's like, what are you doing up there? Why are you messing with me?
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm curious from your own personal experience, what's it like to be a VTuber and what makes VTubing so special?
It allows me to kind of like be as myself. Um, because I work a lot. Um, and I have like a completely like different life outside of VTubing, and it kind of forces me to kind of like I don't know how to though suppress is the right word for it, but I kind of have to chill out with my silliness, I guess. I have to be very professional. I have to be in my office lady mode for a lot of hours, Monday through Friday. So when I come back home and, relax after a bit and start streaming, it allows me to just kind of let loose and, be as myself. I guess the best explanation is like, if you ever watch Umaru-chan, she's a very, she has a ladylike presence. She's very smart and she goes to school and she has a completely different persona. And when she gets home, she becomes a gremlin. She shrinks in size and she plays video games and eats her chips and she becomes whiny. She's like a completely different person. It feels like that when I stream. So I always have fun when I stream, and it makes it so special because I can play games and I've cultivated such a wonderful community where they are like-minded with like they also really like games and the type of games that I play. So it just lets me relax and have fun and laugh and be silly and make jokes I wouldn't be able to make, at work because it's unprofessional or whatever. So and also just I'm able to talk to just so many people. I like to yap about things that I like. I've been told many a times that my passion is very strong to the point where they want to get into that too. Like I'm very passionate in the things that I love. It's almost like I'm infecting them with that passion in a good way. And I do like sharing that a lot. And I also really, really love like Rurika as, as a character. She is so special to me. I feel like throughout the creation of Miss Pumpkin to Rurika now, there's just so much love poured into it. The biggest reason why I wanted to become like a VTuber was just because I wanted to see this character like grow and move and get more art of her and selfishly like get fan art of her and everything. I cherish her so much. I love her so much. She's very, very special. And that just drives me to just keep streaming. And also I can't stop streaming. My backlog is too huge. I just got to keep going, and streaming helps so much with keeping me accountable.
That's what I love about the vibe of your streams too. It's like, oh, been a long day today. Well, let's just sit down and watch Ruby play some retro games and listen to some of her stories, and we'll have a good laugh of any shenanigans that happen on stream. That's the vibe that I always gotten from it, and it's wonderful.
Nice. Yeah, I really wanted to keep it like very like I don't know how to put it, like very I can't say relaxing because most of the games I stream is like not relaxing. It's very hectic, but like it you can just wind down, turn off your brain, have fun, laugh. It feels like it's like a like higher energy sometimes, but I don't know. I just want to just be silly. I guess silly and whimsical. That's the vibe that I hope to give whenever I stream.
One of the things I like about your model is that you have like the pixelated version for when you play classic games, and the more like smooth, complete version for when you play the modern games. How did you come up with that concept?
I did actually really plan for a low poly. I was on, I think, Twitter, and I saw the artist. The name is slipping. But I saw the artist of the low poly model, just come up to the TL and saw that there was commissions open. And so I took a peek and I saw the like, oh, it's really, really freaking cute. And I selfishly want more duty stuff. So I reached out to them and I got a model done. I've always wanted like a 3D model, but unfortunately getting into 3D VTubing is very, very expensive because I don't have like the VR headset. I don't know anything about VR chat. Some models can run you a lot of money, but that was within the budget that I had, and it's a good way to start out with 3. So I commissioned them, and I wanted to do a surprise. And last year when I debuted that model, it was kind of like on a whim, and I was like, oh, you know what? It'll be fun to make a wheel and spin that wheel. And guess what? Those games were really, really hard and difficult games. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself, but I just wanted to spin the wheel of hell and play whatever platformer I played. I want to be the guy for the first time ever, and realize how evil that game and sick and twisted that game was, and other games, and just have fun and move around. And then I realized, oh, this could be really good when I play, like, like low poly type games, or honestly whenever I want to use it. It gives it off a different vibe. I've been told many a time that the model reminds them from something from was it Mega Man Legends, which is a game I need to beat. I need to play that game. I need to beat that game. um so I thought it was really cute. Definitely will be using that model when I do get around to playing it.
Now, for games like Mega Man, what the first time you played them was when you streamed them, or have you played them before?
That was actually the first time when I started, like, when I streamed them. I didn't. I've always wanted to get into Mega Man. I wanted to get into a lot more Capcom IPs back then, but I don't know what stopped me. I don't know if it's because I was just playing a different game at the time and I just didn't want to buy it. I don't remember. But yeah, when I first started streaming, that's when I started playing Mega Man, and I was recommended Mega Man X. And that was the first Mega Man I've ever played.
Now, what was that like for you personally, just getting into the franchise and having your community like cheer you on and giving you advice and tips here and there? 'Cause that actually happened with another streamer that I watched too. Her first exposure to Mega Man was Mega Man X, and it was just a lot of fun for me personally as a Mega Man fan and who loved Mega Man X. Just watching her like getting into the franchise, and we're all just cheering her on, like, oh yeah, you can do it, and just we're all celebrating when she beats it and everything. What was that like for you?
It was difficult. It was really, really hard. I loved it. I loved the vibes of Mega Man. I've always loved the character designs of Mega Man. The music was so good. Everything about it was just so freaking good. But my biggest thing that I had, my biggest obstacle, I guess, was the difficulty. So I played it on like the collection one on Steam. That was before I started playing games more on like whatever console they released on. um, I played the collection and it had a rookie mode. And at the time, a few dachus were like, don't play the rookie mode. The rookie mode is for babies. But I was like, you don't understand. I'm new to this. I'm like, this is new to me. I do not know anything. So I had to play it in rookie mode, which made the experience more enjoyable to me personally. I was able to collect everything 100% and beat the game, and I loved it. I loved Mega Man X so much. I feel like Mega Man X4 and X are my two favorites. And Afterwards, I was like, I need to get back to it. I want to replay Mega Man X, but this time without rookie mode on, like just whatever base difficulty on release. And I streamed it again. I streamed it like I think a month after beating it for the first time on stream, and I played it without the training wheels, and I was playing so much better. I understood things. I knew what not to do. I knew not to touch the spikes. I mostly knew where the collectibles, all the upgrades were, and it went by like I was able to beat it in one stream. I know that game, when you're really, really freaking good at it, you can beat it, relatively quickly. But for me, being able to beat it within like 4 hours, I think 4 or 5 hours, I was really happy with.
And you got to beat the final boss of Mega Man 7, which is one of the toughest. But you never want to do again afterward.
No, I don't. I don't think I would go back to it.
uh, so, I'm curious, is there anyone you'd like to collaborate with in the future? Or is there a stream you've always wanted to do but haven't done yet?
Hmm. A stream or someone to collaborate with. I feel like I always want to collaborate with my friends a lot more. Especially like with the HTT girlies. I know the toughest thing is always time zones. We're all busy with our own lives, but I've always loved the collabs I've done with Takako. We played, you know, Bratz Rock Angels and Bratz Forever Diamonds, and those two games were very funny and very bad. So I really want to play more like games like that. I very much like the duo collabs. I definitely want to stream more with Arya and Zenny as well. I feel like Zenny, I need to steal her for a collab on my channel at some point. I need to think of games. But a stream that I've always wanted to do, I'm not too sure. I want to do something different, one like that isn't like centered about gaming. I want to do like eventually I want to come up with a funny bit and do like maybe like an hour stream max and do just a funny bit. I don't know, for like April 1st or something. Just do something silly. But I haven't really thought of anything yet. I also really want to do like a 3D VR chat stream. That'll probably, you know, come in the future, many years now. One day, one of my goals is to eventually get like a high poly 3D model, um, and just run around in VR chat and go to different worlds and I don't know, Green Hill Zone, something silly, Radical Highway. I have no idea yet, but being able to like yap and run around, and in full body tracking sounds like a lot of fun to me. So I would say those. I few. I don't know how many I listed.
Now, I know you have a month dedicated to bad games. Do you have one dedicated to really good games as well, or not yet?
Ooh, I'm gonna plan on playing really good games soon. Right now I'm gonna put the bad games on hold because I've been missing my series, I guess. Like I pick a game and I stream multiple streams of it. Like, you know how I breeze through DMC, and that's like, oh, Chef's Kiss series, very good games. I need to play more good games because I feel like this whole month was filled with a lot of bad games. So I kind of need to balance it out. But I'm currently working on modding my Wii. It'll be really quick when I'm done with it. But the first game I plan to play on it will be No More Heroes. So I'm very excited to get to that. Um, and I have a list of good games to play. I recently gotten a Dreamcast, like a US Dreamcast. I previously got a Japanese one, so I was very limited because that one could run any burnt CDs. But this one can. I can burn discs and play games. So I plan to play a lot of good games on there.
Yeah. Hey, you tortured yourself through July. I think you deserve a break and get some good games instead.
Yep. I think I need like a refresher. I need to play something good, something Kino.
Yeah.
So hopefully, you know, it's been a long time since I played No More Heroes. I don't even think I've beaten No More Heroes, to be honest. I think I just probably watched the rest of it on YouTube. I was that kind of gamer, unfortunately, back when I was younger. So um it's gonna feel like a first time playthrough for me, honestly, because it's been so long.
Well, I know you're a big Sonic fan. What is it about the franchise that you like so much?
I would say the big aspect that pulled me into Sonic was the designs, I would say. Because the reason why my brother and I chose Sonic Adventure 2 was because of the cover, because of how Sonic looked as a character. He looks so cool. He is so cool. His design is amazing and everything about him is amazing. So we were, kind of like soy pointing at the cover like, "Whoa, look at him. Who's Sonic? Let's play this game." Brought it home, played Sonic Adventure 2 in the pure aura going out of Sonic and Shadow. We couldn't fathom it. We didn't know that was even possible. He was so cool to the point we had to role play as him. We wanted to be him. So, I would say like Sonic as a character and his design and all the other character designs are so strong. They're so simple too. It's just insane how much, like how a simple design could be so strong. And also the silhouettes, like you can tell like this is Sonic. If you were just to pull out a silhouette of Sonic, you'll know. They just cooked with this design. And so, a big aspect that pulled me in initially was his design, and then eventually, I started playing the games, listening to the music. I felt very attached to him. He felt like an inspiration to me. I wanted to be like him. I wanted to be as strong as him. I wanted to be as cool as him. I wanted to be as kind as him. I eventually developed a really big crush on him. I know, like, usually the Jakodashis think of me as like the shadow girl, but as a kid, I was very attached to Sonic. I loved the game so much. I felt like it was a built like such a strong foundation as to who I am as a person today. Um, and I couldn't let go of the hog. I just couldn't. He's the reason why I started drawing too. I collected the Sonic X cards, which later on made me create my first OC ever, which was literally just a yellow Amy with a fuchsia dress called Layla. And I started drawing afterwards, and I got into like the communities online through DeviantArt or YouTube, and I started, watching whatever AMVs I would watch of Sonic X related things or like whatever Sonic games. So I couldn't stop thinking about Sonic. He's such a strong aspect of who I am in my life, and I feel like that'll never fade. There will be times where I would, focus on other games and other series, and where, Sonic as a series would kind of be put on a shelf for a little bit, but I always come back to it. A big chunk of my room is just Sonic collectibles, anything Shadow related, anything Sonic related. As of recent, I've been very attached to Cream the Rabbit as well. Especially going back and playing Sonic Advance 2. She's so freaking cute. But I would say, yeah, big one was design and how they are as characters.
Well, they do say you can put any two characters in a room and they will somehow interact with each other when it comes to the Sonic franchise. Yeah. Now, let's see. What is it about retro games in particular that you like so much? Like, what makes those type of particular games special to you?
I ended up liking like a lot of the art styles and how they looked. I feel like it's really weird now. A lot of people I would interact with, outside of like streaming and the internet, they want, the highest quality, realistic looking type of video games, but what was very appealing to me with retro games is like how stylish certain games looked. I would say like one of the games that I really adore was Nights into Dreams, and I genuinely love Nights' like design. Their design is so strong and so good, and the game itself is so beautiful. And there's like a lot of retro games that look so freaking good. Like that's so stylish. And I feel like in comparison to now and the games now, it just feels kind of I won't say all of them, but it just big chunk of them just kind of look so samey to me. It just seems so gray and so like lack of style and color and vibrancy and whimsy. Where like once I started playing more retro games and especially games I've never heard of before, I just started noticing the differences. But I would say a big aspect is like how they look and the style is very inspiring to me because I feel like artistically I gear towards games like that.
Yeah, that's an understandable answer. I remember someone telling me that retro games just had this sense of comfort to them where you feel like you're going back to a more simple time where you could just put in a game and it will just start up right away. You don't have to worry about updates or patches or anything like that. And it also gave you a challenge too, because hey, that's how rental places made their money. They wanted you to keep renting the game, so they had to make them difficult.
Yep, 100%. They did not make it easy for you. A lot of like the aspects where people, find, like nostalgia with games. There's a lot that I don't feel because I didn't play a lot of the retro games back then. Like I didn't grow up with an NES or N64 that much. I didn't really do any form of troubleshooting, with the cartridges and blowing on the cartridges and things like that. Maybe with like the memory cards of the GameCube and stuff, but all of this is like completely new to me, and I thought I would be a little frustrated with like the tech, but I love it. It's so much fun. I remember I guess I think I tweeted something like, oh, I love physical media, I love retro games, rah. And a friend tweeted like, oh, it sometimes beats you with a million hammers when something doesn't work. And I'm like, well, that's just, that's all part of the experience. Because even as if it's, it's frustrating when something doesn't work, but I also really like it when that happens because even though I get frustrated and I complain and I whine about it, I learn something new at the end of it. So that's a big aspect why I really like retro games. I feel like I'm always learning something new. It's always like bringing up a sort of challenge, whether it be while you're playing the game or troubleshooting to make that game work.
I think another aspect of it is that you had to figure out how to fix it yourself too. Like of course, nowadays, you just go and look it up how to fix something or do something. But back then, it was just either you read it in a magazine or you did it through trial and error, or you took things apart, which which does which doesn't really happen nowadays because it's just easy. It's just easy to go and look up something, or things aren't as easy to repair or take apart nowadays.
Yeah. I remember like I saw something where like people would have to, Nintendo had this like line where if you're stuck in a game, you call the line and you would get assistance if you're stuck somewhere.
Yes, the 1-900 numbers. Of course, the phone bill that your parents saw, they weren't happy about that. I'm actually curious. Did you ever call that number growing up or no?
Nope, I did not. Whenever I was stuck with a game, I would ask my neighbors, or I would hopefully find it in a magazine that I would have, and I never looked up anything on the computer. I guess a fun thing is that in Sonic Adventure 2, for the last story, Knuckles' section where he is, in the water, you have to get to that switch. You needed the air necklace. I did not know about the air necklace. I did not find out about the air necklace until my neighbor told me when they found out from like a magazine or online. I don't know where he found out, but he found out and he told me, and I was like, wait a second, I've been swimming through getting the air bubbles this whole time. What do you mean there's an air necklace? Where do I find it?
And of course, when you have the air necklace, then you have to get to that switch in a certain amount of time before it goes off and you're sent back, which has happened to me more times than I can count. I think that's happened to you a few times on stream, if I remember right.
Yep, eventually, I got better at it, but yeah, I never actually beaten Sonic Adventure 2 on my own when I was a child. I found one of my old memory cards in, I don't know, in one of the baskets, and I was like, "Oh, what's in this memory card?" Pulled out my GameCube, I slammed that in there, and lo and behold, Sonic Adventure 2 was on it. I go and check that file, and last story was there. I needed the air necklace. So I didn't beat that file because I was stuck. That was probably one of the files that was probably the file. So I went back, got whatever upgrades I needed, and I went and beat last story, and it felt kind of like an emotional moment for me. Like I was able to help myself in the past. Um from the struggle of beating that game.
Did you go through and get all the emblems and go through Green Hill Zone as well?
Not yet. That is actually one of my goals, is to A rank everything. I have yet to do that. I started working on that, and then in duty fashion, find another game and play that and forget about it. But
Well,
one day I will A rank every single stage.
all right, but let's revoke her Sonic fan card until she does.
That's true, yeah.
There's another streamer that made it a goal to get like all A ranks, and basically like, okay, well, I don't get my Sonic fan card until I actually do it, and she did do it eventually. It's like, oh, and she was just like so happy and everything when it was all finally done. So it was just both a funny and a wholesome some moment. But in fairness, I've never gotten all A ranks either. It's tough. It is
Looks like
tough.
we have to hold both of our
Yeah, for
Sonic cards
sure.
until we both beat it.
Uh, VTubing has exploded in the past year since it used to be like maybe if it was ever at a convention, it was maybe tucked away in the one corner, and now we have like a whole section in the dealer's room dedicated to them, and even an entire VTuber convention like with Off Guy and Expo. Where do you see it going from here?
I think it's just gonna get bigger and bigger. I think at some point Offkai is gonna be like crazy. Like hopefully they'll be able to, schedule out years in advance. I know now that's their problem since they're so small. I feel like VTubing is just gonna get bigger and bigger. I feel like it is such a I don't know how to put it. Like anyone could be a VTuber, get into VTubing. Whether it be, with like a live 2D or PNG model, they can do whatever they want. It's something that they can do and get into, and a lot of people I think now is seeing the appeal of it. So I think it's just gonna get bigger and bigger. Hopefully one day I'll be able to participate in one of those conventions and do something, whether it be like, be there myself or do a meet and greet or something virtually. But I think it's just gonna be huge in within the next 3 years. I don't know. People always worry about like the I don't know if they put it as like the bubble popping or eventually it'll like, fade away. It probably won't fade away till like many, many years from now.
Yeah, I think just with the technology advancing, I don't see it fading. Excuse me, fading away. I don't know about the bubble popping. Maybe in regard to like a bunch of VTuber corporations springing up, and then that part popping. But we'll have to see. But yeah, if you ever do a meet and greet at a convention, or come to one of the Sonic conventions, we'd love to see you there for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What advice would you give to anyone who wants to get into VTubing?
I think the best advice that I can give is think about like what you want to do, what makes you happy, and then do it. I think start right away. I would say a lot of people, I would say, do the preparations of becoming a VTuber, and in the midst of that, just wait, I guess, and do nothing about it. I would just say, just start streaming now. Stream whatever you want, stream whatever makes you happy, and eventually you will gain an audience. Whether it be, you want to stream art, just stream art. If you want to stream retro games, stream retro games. Or if you just want to yap and stream whatever your day and talk about whatever you want, just do it. It is so much fun. It's so I don't know if what's the proper word for it, but it just feels so rewarding to stream. I really love it so much because it at first it was like a big creative outlet for me. And then now it just allows me to get into different things, play different games. Um so I think that would probably be my best advice, is just keep doing it. Stream whatever you want. Do not stream the meta. I swear, I worried about the meta back when I first started streaming, and stream whatever was the most popular category, because I thought that's what streamers did. For whatever reason, don't do that. Stream whatever makes you happy. um just find your own niche, and then just stream it. And if it changes, then that's fine too. Change it. It'll be okay. Just if you focus on your happiness and your health, it'll go a long way, because I feel like a lot of people burn themselves out in the beginning.
That's all great words of advice. I know you've really grown as a streamer and got a partner not too long ago. What's that been like for you? What was it like to get partner and be featured on the front page?
I didn't expect it, to be honest. Because I've been streaming for like nearly 4 years now. It'll be 4 years in October. I've had like a relatively small audience, like really small audience when I first started out. Because I just didn't really know what I was gonna be doing. I didn't know if this was something I was gonna be doing more than 6 months actually. Um, but still kept streaming because it made me happy. There was many a times where like I had my ups and downs, because I struggle with imposter syndrome a lot. um but I went on my vacation to Japan last year after my debut, and I didn't have a goal of getting partner. I feel like it's like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But back in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, it would be really nice to get it, because I selfishly want more emotes, even though I learned you don't get more emote slots. I just wanted like more like stuff of duty, selfishly. um and after I got back from my trip from Japan, I started streaming, and I don't know if it's because I changed categories or something happened, or like more streamers have taken notice of me. But I started, growing, and making more friends, and then they very kindly shared their community to me. And I don't know, like I don't know if it's because like they were interested in like the real hardware streams, or I just maybe just found my niche and the games that I like, and they just kind of like, I don't know, started just popping in randomly. I have no idea. Like I did not anticipate this to happen this year. I
Yeah.
know, like inherently as a streamer, you like grow, and it depends on how fast you grow and how much you grow. But I didn't expect to grow as much as I did. I thought I would just have my little baby corner on the internet and, stream whatever I want to stream. But I'm happy. I'm happy that, I'm where I'm at now. I'm very grateful. I didn't expect this to happen. That just means more Jakodachis that I can, um, spread the Sonic brain rot to. That's the goal at the end, is for them to play all the games that I like.
The Sonic fan in me approves.
Yep, that's my goal. That's what I'm trying to do. All the Jakodachis who are there, my at the end, I'm making all of them play, multiple Sonic games, if not the Sonic game, which is Sonic Adventure for me.
Even the bad Sonic game, gotta get the full,
Yeah, even the bad ones.
gotta get the full experience. Now, I'm curious, what made you decide to play on real hardware versus playing on an emulator for your streams?
Um, I didn't really expect to like enjoy or like see how special it is to play on real hardware until like I actually did it. One of my friends, Professor Bloom, who also streams, he exclusively streams on real hardware. Um, he helped me get the capture card for the Dreamcast because I really wanted the Sakura Wars Dreamcast. I think that's where it started. Is I saw the Sakura Wars Dreamcast and I fell in love with it. I was like, I need this. I need this in my life. This is so pretty. I love the Dreamcast. I need this. And I went to my trip to Japan and I picked it up. I literally the last few days of my trip, I was able to find it for a really good price and really good condition. And I was like, oh my goodness, it would be kind of fun to play games on it and stream it because I feel like real hardware streams are I don't know, it's different. It's like a completely different experience because you have to actually mess with the actual hardware rather than, like booting up an emulator and pulling out the game. It's just a completely different experience. But Bloom sent very kindly sent over the capture device, and I just started streaming real hardware, and I actually experienced the Dreamcast for the first time. I've never played on a Dreamcast ever. So like explaining like how the controller feels, and how comfortable it is, what it's like listening to the Dreamcast freaking take off because it's so loud, messing with the VMUs. I feel like it's just like an ultimately different experience that you'll never get by just simply emulating the game,
Mm-hmm.
because you can even see like the little screen on the VMU. It is so cute and it is so fun as well. I think before that I was streamed the GameCube games as well, and it's like a different experience also because there's a lot of different aspects to it that you just don't get from an emulator, like hardware wise. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think it's really interesting.
That's a very understandable answer. I'm curious, what's your setup like in regard to having all the actual hardware? Like, how do you have everything connected, and how do you switch between the different consoles for your streams?
So I have all my consoles in a cart right now, and then I have think it's called the Data I-O. It's a USB capture where you connect the little RCA cable. You connect the yellow one for the visual one, and then I capture the sound directly to my PC. So I had to get an adapter for that, for the white and red cable. And I switched them out individually. I have a pretty long desk. I have your typical r/battle station type desk with the IKEA uh kitchen countertop with the drawers. So it's long enough so I can fit my two monitors and my full tower, and then a console or two. And I just kind of switch them by pulling out the cables, inserting whatever cables for whatever console I want to play, and I have it just literally right next to me on my desk. And then I use a Japanese program called Amarek because the Data IO is it's a Japanese branded capture. I thought about getting like a retro tank eventually when I have the funds for it. But for now, I was introduced to that one because it was like a less expensive alternative that works really well. It's an older program, which I don't mind. And there's some things that you have to work out. Um, but other than that, it's really really simple and easy as well. And then I have like whatever power strips underneath that that I power my monitors, everything that I also plug in my consoles with. And whenever I want to switch consoles, I switch them out. But typically, I want to keep it like one console per stream. It just makes things a lot easier with cleanup because I used to keep most of my consoles in their original boxes because I wanted to preserve um the hardware as much as I can, because that's just the type of person I am. I want to take good care of my stuff. But eventually it got really messy, so I have them on a cart now. For some of them, my Sakura Wars, some of my like more rarer consoles, I still have them housed in their boxes. But for the most part, like things that I know that could take a bang or two, they're on the cart, so I can just take them out whenever I want to play something.
Is there any console you've always wanted to own but don't have yet?
As of right now, I am greedy and I got everything that I wanted, but since I'm greedy, I still want more more retro consoles. Um, I would say I definitely want the N64 now. I recently got a US Dreamcast. That was something I've always wanted. I've gotten, the Sakura Wars Dreamcast, the Saturn, the Mega Drive. I want every single Sega console. I still need the Master System, but I think what's next on my list is the N64 and the SNES.
Okay. So my last question to you is, what would you like to say to the next generation growing up now who are starting to discover and get into these retro games that we grew up with?
I would say if like I think the best way to start out was honestly playing it the magical way and just emulating games. I think that was so good for me because what's so awesome about retro gaming is how it's expensive but also inexpensive. I guess if that makes sense. Like you can emulate and play whatever you want on your computer. And they don't take a lot either. It's not like a AAA game where you need like the best graphics, the best CPU, Intel, whatever. You could play it on a pretty crappy, laptop, depending on like which game you want to play. If it's like much older retro game, you can just start emulating it and playing it. I would just say just start there. Um, Selfishly, I want to tell them that you should play a Sonic game or two, or maybe Mega Man or Klonoa, or Knights, or or Metroid, Super Metroid. But I would say just start there, and if you start to love the games, then if you can pick up a console. What's really sad is since COVID hit, retro gaming has become very very expensive. My wallet despises me at this moment because I buy a lot of games because I love physical media. So whenever I can, I will buy physical copies of whatever games that I like, or get a console or two. But if you're looking for consoles, go to hopefully a local shop and see if you can find something, or whenever you drive past a yard sale, maybe pop by and see if someone is selling them for a reasonable price, things like that. But I guess ultimately just start playing them. Just find an emulator, you can find them online. There's many guides that are very helpful, and just start playing them.
Mm, okay. Well, Brewery, I want to thank you, Jimmy, very, very much for coming on. It was great getting to know more about you and your streams, and keep up the great work on all that you do. And thank you for all the entertainment and laugh you have given me. You have given to me and to the rest of the community. There's never a dull moment when you stream.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you so much for having me, and also thank you so much for all the questions and your time. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, so my next Q&A will be with Star Prism. That will be on August 3rd at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And Leah Serenity Rose will be my co-host. So we will see you all there. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.